Friendship through the lens of Stoicism, a journey to find meaningful connections. When discussing the absence of friendship, a Stoic once compared true friendship to a diamond rare and priceless. He believed that genuine friendship is not easily found, and the false relationships that often surround us are like fragile shards of glass. After a few mistaken choices, people tend to doubt that true friendship is anything more than a distant illusion. On this foundation of reflection, another voice reminds us that true friends are invaluable treasures worthy of deep appreciation. However, can we always find someone to place in that esteemed position? And if you often feel lonely in a world overflowing with connections, what does that reflect? Could it be a profound sign about the nature of the person within you? Today, we will explore this delicate topic together, understanding the complexities of modern social relationships and their impact on friendship. Remember, not having too many friends does not reflect your self-worth. Sometimes, what matters more than quantity is finding a true friendship as rare and precious as a gem. Let us embark on this journey with open minds, ready to learn, grow, and connect. 1. Shyness and introversion. Though humans are social creatures by nature, for some, engaging in social interactions can feel like wandering through an intricate maze where the path to connection seems elusive. Shyness and introversion are often misunderstood as obstacles, yet when seen from a new perspective, they reveal themselves as quiet strengths that foster reflection and depth. A fundamental tenet of Stoicism is transforming perceived weaknesses into sources of power. The journey begins with self-acceptance. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Embrace whatever life's thread has woven for you. To be introverted is not to be lacking, but to possess a subtle, introspective strength. When you accept yourself as you are, you liberate your mind from the exhausting cycle of questioning whether you should be different." In social situations, when shyness surfaces, ground yourself in what lies within your control, your words, your demeanor, and your kindness. Rather than worrying about how others perceive you, focus on sharing your genuine self. Think of friendship not as a prize to be claimed, but as a living thing that requires care and patience. Don't rush the process. As Seneca reminds us, life unfolds step by step. Every conversation is a moment of growth, not a measure of your value. By choosing authenticity over performance, you create space for connections that truly resonate with who you are. 2. The challenge of trust. Embarking on the journey of friendship, trust often stands as one of the most delicate hurdles. It's like walking a tightrope requiring balance between personal values and the unpredictability of others. Stoicism teaches that instead of doubting everyone, begin by understanding yourself. What wounds you? What brings you comfort? When you have clarity about your own values, you become like a tree with deep roots, steady amid life's shifting winds. Remember, people are like the changing seasons, constantly evolving. Someone who seems trustworthy today may disappoint you tomorrow. This truth doesn't mean you should close your heart, but rather accept that change is inevitable. If you experience betrayal, it's not the end of the story, but a chance to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. 3. Lack of social opportunities. Sometimes the problem isn't that you don't meet people, it's that you aren't actively engaging with the world around you. Building meaningful connections often requires stepping outside your comfort zone and creating opportunities rather than waiting for them to come to you. Consider joining community activities. Volunteering is not only a beautiful way to help others, but also a path to encountering people who share your values and compassion. When you work alongside others toward a common cause, bonds often form naturally, rooted in empathy and shared purpose. Beyond volunteering, seek out workshops, skill-building classes, or events related to your personal interests. Whether it's a book club, a cooking class, or a creative writing workshop, finding a group of people who are passionate about the same things you are can transform socializing from a chore into a genuine pleasure. Conversations in such spaces flow more easily because they're built on enthusiasm and mutual curiosity, rather than forced small talk. Ultimately, creating social opportunities means embracing a mindset of openness and initiative. The more you invest in authentic experiences, the more likely you are to discover friendships that feel natural and lasting. And as with anything meaningful, it often starts with a single step: showing up. 4. Lack of communication skills. Friendship doesn't just happen on its own. It requires effort, intentionality, and the right approach. If you find yourself struggling with social interactions, know that you're not alone. Developing communication skills is a journey, not a destination, and it starts with small, manageable steps. Begin by creating opportunities for casual conversation in your daily routine. For instance, when you're grabbing your morning coffee, take a moment to engage with the barista, ask how their day is going, or comment on the weather. It may seem trivial, but these brief exchanges help build your confidence and comfort in social situations. Over time, these small interactions can transform into genuine connections. Another practical step is to join a local club or group that aligns with your interests. Whether it's a book club, a hiking group, or a cooking class, shared activities naturally foster conversation and camaraderie. Even online communities can offer a safe and supportive environment to practice communication, especially if in-person interactions feel overwhelming at first. A key aspect of developing strong communication skills is practicing active listening, and this goes beyond just hearing the words someone is saying. In a world where most people are eager to speak, those who truly listen stand out as rare and valuable companions. Make a conscious effort to ask thoughtful questions, not simply to fill a gap in conversation or to prepare your next response, but to genuinely understand the thoughts, feelings, and experiences of the person you're talking to. When you approach interactions with curiosity and empathy, you create a space where others feel heard and appreciated, and this, in turn, strengthens the bond of friendship. Remember, communication is not about impressing others with your wit or storytelling prowess. It's about fostering meaningful dialogue where both parties feel valued and understood. As you build your communication skills, don't be discouraged by setbacks. Not every conversation will flow smoothly, and not every acquaintance will become a close friend, and that's perfectly okay. Each interaction, whether successful or awkward, is a learning opportunity that helps you grow more comfortable and confident in social settings. Over time, you'll find that your ability to connect with others improves, not because you've learned to perform in social situations, but because you've learned to be present, authentic, and genuinely interested in the people around you. That's the foundation of true, lasting friendships. 5. Changing priorities over time. As we journey through life, our priorities inevitably shift, and with them, our friendships often follow suit. What once felt effortless and natural in childhood, forming bonds over shared games, laughter, and the simple joy of being together, gradually transforms into something more complex as we grow older. In our younger years, friendship was often as easy as finding someone to play with. No deep conversations or shared values were required, just mutual fun and companionship. But adulthood introduces a different rhythm, one shaped by careers, family responsibilities, personal ambitions, and the ever-accelerating pace of modern life. It's all too easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of obligations. We tell ourselves we'll call that old friend tomorrow, or that we'll plan a catch-up soon, but somehow tomorrow turns into next week, and next week into next year. Without realizing it, we start to prioritize what seems urgent work deadlines, errands, bills over what's truly important, the human connections that give our lives richness and meaning. This isn't a failure or a flaw. It's a natural consequence of growing up and navigating life's evolving demands. However, the Stoics remind us of a crucial truth. The quality of our friendships matters far more than the quantity. Rather than stretching ourselves thin, trying to keep up with a wide circle of acquaintances, we're better off nurturing a smaller group of meaningful, authentic connections. In fact, Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of focusing on what truly serves our soul, suggesting that we let go of superficial concerns and instead invest our energy in relationships that stand the test of time and change. This shift in perspective requires intentionality. It means recognizing that friendships, like gardens, need consistent care and attention. They can't thrive on occasional texts or once-a-year reunions alone. It takes effort reaching out, checking in, being there not just in moments of celebration, but in times of struggle and uncertainty. A thoughtful message, a spontaneous phone call, or a shared memory can rekindle the warmth of a friendship that might otherwise fade into the background of a busy life. At the same time, it's important to embrace the reality that some friendships are seasonal. People grow, change, and sometimes drift apart, not out of malice or neglect, but because their paths have naturally diverged. The Stoic approach isn't to resist this, but to accept it with grace. As Epictetus advised, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This means cherishing the friendships that remain strong while letting go, without bitterness, of those that have run their course. In doing so, we create space both emotionally and mentally for new, meaningful connections to enter our lives. As our priorities shift, so too do the kinds of relationships that enrich us. A friendship that made perfect sense in our 20s might no longer fit in our 40s, and that's okay. The goal isn't to hold on to every relationship at any cost, but to recognize which ones continue to nourish our souls and reflect the people we are becoming, ultimately navigating changing priorities with wisdom and compassion allows us to build a life filled with genuine connection. We learn to invest our time and energy where it matters most, not out of obligation, but out of love and gratitude. Friendships grounded in mutual respect and shared values become anchors in the shifting seas of life, offering not just companionship, but a profound sense of belonging. So, instead of mourning the friendships that have faded, celebrate the ones that remain and be open to the new connections that are waiting to be made. By embracing life's dynamic nature, as the Stoics teach us, we can cultivate relationships that are not only meaningful, but also resilient, growing stronger through the inevitable changes that time brings. 6. Differences in interests. At first glance, it may seem that two people with vastly different tastes, say, a rock music enthusiast and a classical music lover, would have little in common. It's easy to assume that shared passions are the foundation of friendship, that without similar hobbies or interests, there can be no meaningful connection. But the truth is far more nuanced and far more beautiful. Real connection doesn't necessarily stem from liking the same things. It grows from the openness and willingness to understand and appreciate someone else's world. In fact, friendships often flourish precisely because of differences, not in spite of them. When two people with contrasting tastes meet, they have the opportunity to introduce each other to new experiences, expanding their horizons rather than remaining confined within their own familiar bubbles. A rock fan, for instance, might discover the emotional depth and precision of a classical symphony, while a classical aficionado might be surprised by the raw energy and storytelling in a rock ballad. Neither person has to abandon their preferences. The magic lies in the exchange, in the ability to listen, ask questions, and see the world through another's eyes. This openness requires a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing differences as barriers, consider them as invitations to curiosity, to learning, and to connection on a deeper level. When we step beyond the surface of what someone likes and into the realm of who they are, we uncover the values and qualities that truly matter. A shared love of a particular sport, movie genre, or cuisine might spark a conversation, but it's traits like perseverance, integrity, compassion, and a sense of humor that sustain a friendship over time. If you find yourself struggling to connect with someone because their interests seem so unlike your own, try to look beyond the obvious. What motivates them? What brings them joy or comfort? What challenges have they faced, and how have they grown from those experiences? These are the kinds of questions that reveal the essence of a person, and often, you'll find that beneath the differences in taste, there are shared human experiences and values that form a far stronger bond than any mutual hobby ever could. Moreover, learning to appreciate differences can make you a better friend and a more compassionate person. It teaches patience, empathy, and the art of listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but truly hearing what the other person is saying, and perhaps even what they aren't saying. This kind of attentive, respectful listening creates a space where both people feel seen and valued, and that's where genuine friendship takes root. The Stoics understood the importance of focusing on what we can control, and one thing we can always control is our attitude toward others. Instead of dismissing someone because their interests don't align with ours, we can choose to approach them with curiosity and kindness, recognizing that every person we meet has something to teach us. As Seneca wrote, we learn not in school, but in life. Often, the most meaningful lessons and the most rewarding relationships come from the people who challenge our perspectives and introduce us to new ways of thinking. In the end, the foundation of lasting friendship isn't a shared playlist or a mutual love of a TV show. It's built on trust, respect, and a willingness to show up for each other, time and time again. So, if you don't find someone who shares your exact passion, don't let that discourage you. Instead, seek out those who share your deeper values, your curiosity, your desire for growth, your commitment to kindness, and you may find that the most unexpected friendships are often the most enduring and meaningful. After all, life would be dull if we only surrounded ourselves with people who thought and felt exactly as we do. True friendship, like true wisdom, lies in embracing difference and in discovering that what makes us unique is often what brings us together. Friendship is not a game where the prize is a long list of acquaintances or social media followers. It's not about how many people know your name or how many birthday messages you receive. True friendship is a much deeper, more meaningful journey, one of discovering those rare individuals who truly resonate with your soul. In a world that often celebrates quantity over quality, it's easy to feel pressured into believing that having a large social circle is a measure of success or happiness. But the truth is, a handful of genuine friends, the kind who understand you without you having to say a word, who show up for you not just in the good times, but especially in the hard ones, is worth more than 1,000 casual connections. Real friendship isn't built overnight. It takes time, effort, and a shared willingness to be vulnerable, honest, and supportive. If you've ever felt that making friends as an adult is harder than it was when you were younger, you're not alone. As we grow, our priorities shift, our responsibilities increase, and our emotional energy becomes a more limited resource. This makes finding and maintaining meaningful connections all the more valuable. True friends are the ones who accept your flaws, celebrate your victories, and remind you of your strength when you've forgotten it yourself. They are the ones who make you feel at home, even when you're miles away from it. Building such friendships requires more than just common interests or shared experiences. It requires emotional availability, curiosity about another person's inner world, and a willingness to invest time and energy into the relationship. And that's not always easy, especially if you're someone who tends toward introversion or social anxiety. But the beauty of friendship is that it doesn't demand perfection. You don't have to be the most outgoing person in the room. You just have to be authentic. For some people, forming new friendships comes naturally. They thrive in social settings, easily striking up conversations and making connections. For others, the process may feel slower and more deliberate, but no less meaningful. Whether you're an extrovert who draws energy from being around people, an introvert who cherishes deep one-on-one conversations, or someone who exists comfortably in this space between, your style of connecting with others is valid. What matters most is finding people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you think you need to be. The most enduring friendships often arise from unexpected places: a chance encounter, a shared moment of vulnerability, or simply the quiet understanding that grows over time. If this article resonates with you, we'd be honored if you'd leave a like. Your support helps us reach more people who might be seeking the same sense of connection and belonging. And we'd love to hear from you. Are you someone who flourishes in social gatherings? Someone who prefers the comfort of solitude? Or do you find yourself somewhere in the beautiful middle ground? Your story matters, and who knows? Sharing it might inspire someone else to take that first step toward building a friendship that lasts a lifetime, because in the end, friendship isn't about having a crowd. It's about having a few people who truly see you, hear you, and walk beside you on this journey we call life.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.